when we get frustrated, when we get discouraged, when we're having the negative response to the situation, that's not a bad thing, right? We're human.
The
Like you
natural
said,
thing.
we've got good intentions. So we notice those frustrations and those feelings and all that. What neutral thinking allows us to do, before we fly off the handle, we want to be able to get neutral, which is, okay, what are the facts? I notice how I'm feeling, but how do I want to respond to this that's hopefully going to have a positive impact on my child or the situation, right? That's the power of getting neutral.
Welcome to Limitless Minds, the podcast where curiosity meets greatness. If you're ready to discover what it takes to be truly limitless and push beyond your own limits, you're in the right place.
Welcome back. We are in the summer series of Limitless Minds podcast. We're talking about youth sports, and we're giving tips and hints and advice about, hey, how to be a great sport parent for your youth athlete, and for the youth athlete out there, how to be a great kid and have fun and get better this summer, right?
Yeah.
That's the goal.
I love it, Josh. Yeah, I mean, it's like our goal, I think, would be for the parents out there is to help these sessions start a conversation with your child, to talk about sort of what are their goals, how can you support them? And then obviously, Josh and I want to share some elite mental principles, athletes and teams that we've worked with that you can apply absolutely, not only for yourself, but for your children, and have a great summer and hopefully end the summer getting ready to crush whatever season comes next.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole key. It's funny. We're talking about summer sports. And again, we truly believe it's a separating time for athletes. If you use this 8 weeks, you could put some distance between you and your competition. But that being said, Travis, I'm kind of curious about, you as a youth athlete, you obviously spent a bunch of summers. Do you remember like a really great moment from being a summer athlete?
Oh man, it's so I grew up in shout out to Flint, Michigan. Grew up in Flint, Michigan. Flint at the time in the 80s had a really great sort of sports system that was super inclusive. If it wasn't free, it was darn near close to free. And summers for me was having all the friends in the neighborhood over at the house, right? We would play in the backyard. We'd play street ball in the cul-de-sac. We'd play soccer. We'd basketball in the driveway. We'd play sports all day, but also, it was summer baseball rather. So whether it was midgets or Class E, that's what it was called, back then. And we would play, like the best memories that I have would be, so we would have a morning baseball game. My dad would bring the van. We'd load up the van. We would go play our baseball game. And then the school, the elementary or the middle school, Josh, you would play summer floor hockey in Flint, Michigan. And so you would play for your school, even though school wasn't in session, you would like go to another school and play that school team. So we'd have baseball in the morning, go play a floor hockey game in the afternoon. And when you hit the trifecta right, we would have a summer soccer game in the early evening afternoon. And so just being able to play all three of those sports in the same day, and then we would come back to our house, I don't know, play flashlight tag in the basement. Like, to me, I'm like, oh, that was just so many of my favorite memories were playing with my friends and just playing sports, playing games. And there was just such a purity to, I remember we won I don't know, third place in the summer league one year, and we thought we were like Olympic champions, and we're walking around the neighborhood with our third place medals on, just waiting for anyone to go, hey, congratulations. But it was just, when I think of summers, those are the memories that I reflect on, and it reminds me of why I love sports so much.
Yeah, it's the camaraderie, it's the connection, it's the looseness of just being with your friends. And sure, there's some rules, but there's a freedom to it too, man.
Yeah.
There's a freedom to it too, and it was so fun. I similar memory for me in my summertime. It was basketball, and it was behind Regina Charlie Church or in Chris D'Alessio's driveway. Those are the two places.
Shout out to Chris D'Alessio.
Yeah, he had a 3-point line painted in his driveway and a free throw line, and we'd just be out there, 7, 8, 9 hours. Literally, I remember riding my bike around and looking for games. Like, we would go to Pine Woods Park, and then we would hop on okay, there was no game there. Oh, I heard they're playing over Regina Charlie. Let's go to Regina Charlie. Okay, good. We're going to go behind the church. We played there for oh, we had 2-hour game. It was awesome, and it's exactly right. And we would go and we would jump in the, back then we lived on the banks of the Hudson River. Sometimes we'd go and jump in the Hudson River afterwards. And yeah, that was it. And that was all, again, it was that there was an element of freedom, but there was that camaraderie and joy and competition and just putting on a good sweat and just having fun with it, man. It was so good. It was so good. And I'll be honest with you too. Some of my best memories though were in structured camps. I loved going to basketball camp as a kid. Loved it. Get those 2 weeks of really good. Hey man, we're in here in the morning from 8 a.m. till 11 o'clock. You're pounding the rock, you're doing this. And then you got, an hour for lunch. And then you come back from lunch and you play, 3 games. And then at night you have, video session or whatever it was, it's the best. It's just like immersion. I'm like legitimately jealous of my kids when they get to go to camp. I'm like, I want adult camp. Is there an adult sleepaway camp somewhere?
Well, yeah, sleepaway camp. That'd be great. With like you're sharing bunks with like another dude.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it. You're
just hanging
like
out,
swapping candy, right? Like,
what are you doing? Oh, I'm taking the canoe out today. So fun. But those were some of my best memories, without a doubt. And I think one of the things that I'll tell you this too. One of the reasons that that competitiveness was so fun was because it was just for us.
Yeah.
There wasn't any spectators. There weren't any like and parents, just take this with a grain of salt. Like there weren't the parents like living and dying with every shot, right?
No,
it was just
like
we were just out there, man.
It's true. When I think about like one of the things that I'm actually really blessed and grateful for when I think back to sort of those youth sports days, especially in the summer, is like my dad was like our baseball coach. So he would bring the van and take us to the game. Most of the kids on my team, they'd be lucky if they had a parent that showed up to a game the entire season. Right. And of course, like that, it's nice for that to do so, but we've almost kind of swung the pendulum so far in the other direction, Josh, where you've got not only parents not missing a single event, they're in lawn chairs watching practice and watching training.
Talk about practice, Travis.
Right? Like, what are we doing? Where's that independence? So that's a whole other subject, Josh. But we do want, I think in the spirit of helping parents when it comes to supporting your kids and their athletic pursuits and aspirations, how can we do that in a way that you and I both know, not only from a science but from an experience standpoint, is beneficial for the child, for the athlete, and obviously beneficial for the relationship as well. And I know today we're going to talk about kind of the framework of neutral thinking, the foundational why we feel it's so important here at Limitless Minds, and how we use it. But Josh, even before we explain it too much, we got to share a nooch nugget, baby.
Yeah, we do. We got to share some beautiful nooch nuggets. So, do you want to go first, or you want me to go first for the nooch?
I'll go ahead and go first. I'll jump real quick. And mine was for this one was I apologize if I like congestion or if I cough at all during the podcast, but I wasn't. I just came down with a cold. No big deal. Came down with a cold, but I had something like I wasn't feeling good like a few weeks before that. So I came down with this cold, about a week ago, and I immediately got frustrated because I was just sick. What's the deal? I was just sick, and then I'm coming down with a cold, and all of a sudden I'm realizing I have this narrative, and the narrative is, hey Travis, whenever you get sick, like it takes it not like it lingers for weeks. And I was like, oh, wait a second, this is going to be weeks, and that's a lot where the frustration comes from. And like for me, like neutral was, wait a second, hold on, pause. This narrative that you're starting to think and believe, where does that come from? Like, is this true? Kind of like, is that true? Well, it's happened in the past. Does that mean it's true now? So this narrative, I was like, oh, wow, I've really adapted this narrative that whenever I get sick, it lingers for weeks. And neutral for me, Josh, was just noticing the story, noticing the narrative.
Story is big key.
Yeah. And going, you know what? I think I'm going to challenge this narrative. So I shifted my expectation from this is going to take, a couple of weeks to I'm going to shift my narrative to this is only going to last a couple of days. I'm going to expect to feel better. I'm going to start to behave as if I'm going to feel better. And I'm going to just shift my narrative. Does it mean I'm going to get healthier faster? I don't know. But my expectations and how I behave is probably going to help not only make me feel better emotionally, but my attitude. But I think we both agree when we shift our attitude and we shift our behaviors, the outcomes tend to shift as well. And here I am just over a week later, just a little congested, but the impact was so much more harmonious than previous times. So like that the getting neutral was noticing the story, the narrative, and if I can't change the narrative, I'm going to challenge the narrative. And obviously this is true. We all have like dozens of narratives that we're constantly carrying around about ourselves and about the world. And so this was an opportunity for me to get neutral, pause. Hey, I can't control what's going to happen, but what am I focused on right now? Am I focused on projecting this couple of weeks of sickness, or am I going to challenge it and focus on what I can do right now and see how that shifts things? And it definitely had a positive impact.
Yeah, we often do that, right? When we're sick, like, when's this going to be? Oh, I can't believe I'm sick. Da, da, da,
Yeah.
da. Oh, I feel so bad. I feel so bad. Right. Versus, no, I'm getting better today. Oh yeah, I can see I'm getting a little bit better today. And when we start looking for that, things kind of shift a little bit. So that's
Yeah.
phenomenal. I love it.
Awesome.
It's funny.
I'm gonna dip it, Josh. I'm gonna dip it in
Vicks vapor rub.
yeah, in organic cough medicine that I was taking on. All holistic, all herbs, and all the
Just
good stuff.
delicious. Just take
Yeah,
it, dip it, rub it on your chest, and then eat
really
it.
nasty stuff, but that's what I'm
That's
dipping it
phenomenal.
in.
This is what the people wait for, by the way, Travis, is they sit here, they're like, okay, let me fast forward to when they dipped it because
What
we
are
want
they
to really find out what they
what
dip it in.
are
That's
they
going to
gonna
be the
dip it
key.
in?
That's the
Yeah.
key.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
For me, so my oldest son came back from college.
Mhm.
He finished his freshman year, and he's 19 years old, and he comes back home, and so I pick him up from college. We packed up his room. It's 8 a.m. We drive home. We get back home. It's about 3 hours from his campus. We get home probably around like 1 o'clock, 1:30, and he immediately sleeps for 5 hours, 4 hours on the couch, and then gets up and goes out with his friends for the night.
Love it.
Then the next day, he sleeps until about 1:30 in the afternoon, finally unpacks his car because his
Mhm.
car didn't get unpacked from the day before.
Didn't have time.
Unpacks his car, finally starts doing his laundry, and then leaves and goes with his friends for the night. Like he plays. This is exactly what we were talking about in terms of
Yeah,
our favorite summer vacation. He's playing
yeah,
pickleball all day. He's doing
yeah,
all sorts of fun stuff. Awesome. So at this point, after 2 days of this, I'm like, this guy,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
what are we doing?
yeah.
Like, you're sleeping all day and then you go out and then you sleep all day again. You're having this is a horrible start to the summer in my brain, right?
Of
And then
course.
I stepped back and I said, how the hell was I when I was 19?
Yeah,
What was I doing?
yeah,
I was doing the same dang thing. And then I thought to myself, he's had a really long semester. He had a full-time job. He was, taking a bunch of credits. He's doing engineering. So he's got some heavy load. And so I said, all right, I'm going to give him some pause and some grace. And I said, but I will have a conversation about how long the summer is exactly and how much time he actually, because he started his own business, started his own car detailing business. So if anybody in the Sarasota area wants their car detailed, please hit us
love it,
up. And
love it.
he's got a
Worth the
mobile
drive.
thing. He'll come to your driveway. He'll make it all happen. It's pretty good.
Love
Does it
it.
in about an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's like perfect. He's really good at it. So anyway, so we started this business up, but he didn't like do anything these first 3 days. He was just like, and so I just kind of said, okay, I can get really mad at him and
Yeah,
frustrated with him and just
yeah,
being like, what are you doing? You dingbat, you're wasting your life. Ah! Old head. I can go old head on him. Instead I said, hey, can we have a conversation? And so he's like, yeah, sure, let's do it tomorrow, whatever. So he wakes up at like, whatever, 1 o'clock in the afternoon that day. He's like, and he comes into my office, which his room is like right there.
yeah.
And he comes into my office and he goes, I got to get my sleep schedule on point. I'm just wasting this time. I didn't say a thing. But he did. And but my neutrality was getting to, let's just have a conversation versus me waking him up at 10 a.m. Like what I really wanted to do is throw cold
Right,
water
right.
on him, like the whole deal.
Of course.
But no, so then we came back and we looked at the calendar and we said, okay, these are the days I'm going to have to, and then we started, okay, what can I do to start my business today? So he went out and got all the supplies that he needed to restock, started sending text messages out to all of his former clients. And sure enough, by, Saturday, he already had 2 clients and he's on his way. So good on him. But the neutrality was me catching
Yeah,
myself,
of course.
putting my own stuff on him of, hey, urgency, urgency, urgency,
Yep.
and recognizing he walks to a different drum and it's okay. So
Yeah.
let me meet him at his drum. And then we did, and we looked at it, and now he knows, and he's good to go.
I love it. And yeah, just your ability to have grace when, again, like the emotions start to rise and you're
I just
like,
wanted to
hold
complain
on.
so bad.
Yes.
I was talking to DJ about it on we had a call, and I was talking to DJ about it. He's like, "Ooh, somebody's loving his son right now." I was just like, but
Yeah.
yeah, but just having that grace, that's the whole key too. And then
Right.
just
Right.
recognizing me being emotional is only going to make him emotional and probably push back, right?
Oh, right.
Versus,
It's no
yeah,
longer, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's not, yeah.
Let's collaborate, like we talked about in the last podcast. Let's collaborate.
Yeah. 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 So basically you pulled a vanilla ice is what we call it, Josh,
Why is it a vanilla ice?
because you stopped, collaborate, and listen. Josh is back with a brand new mission.
That's
Ice,
I
ice, baby.
just see, that's phenomenal.
Ice,
I
ice,
feel
baby.
like you look like Vanilla Ice now, like him at 50. Anyway, the
Hey,
well, I'm
speaking,
dipping
wait a
that.
second. What are you dipping? You dipping it in some,
I'm dipping that in car wax. Are you kidding
well, I
me?
was going to say it's got to be car wax.
Car wax or soap or something
Rain-X.
like that. Just like,
Shout
yeah,
out some Rain-X.
Armor All. That's what I'm dipping it
I
in.
love it. Well, Josh, yeah, we're set
We've
up
now
for,
gone toxic. We've now gone toxic with our
yeah,
nuggets. We
yeah,
can't
yeah.
dip them in anything.
Don't hit the Tide
Don't try
Pods,
this at
and
home, kids.
don't dip it in the Rain-X, right? We're not
Don't
responsible for when you
don't
dip your Nooch Nuggets in. We're really not.
don't do that. Please don't.
Well, Josh, what you and I wanted to do is, because for listeners of the podcast, we're constantly talking about neutral thinking and why it's so important, not only as for us and leaders and athletes, but for any new listeners. Like, this is a great session to talk about exactly what is neutral thinking, right? Sort of the genesis of neutral thinking, and especially as parents, yes, we can share neutral thinking with our kids, but really, neutral thinking is going to become really powerful when we as parents, or like Josh did with his child, when we can actually use neutral thinking for ourselves, which is actually going to help us with our relationship with our kids, especially when it comes to helping them deal with their training or any disappointments or anything like that. So we're like, hey, let's kind of do a stop, rewind. What is neutral thinking? Where's it come from, Josh? And how can we as parents really put it into practice with our kids? So neutral
Yeah,
thinking, take it away, man.
yeah. Neutral thinking it's dealing with the concrete and objective facts without judgment or grading. So my kid had 7 turnovers in the basketball game. He stinks. That's a
Yeah.
judgment,
Yeah.
right? My kid had 7 turnovers in the basketball game. In order for him to not do that in the future, he's going to have to work on his ball handling, or she's going to have to work on our ball handling, whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think one of the big things about neutral thinking is it's just getting to the facts. It's not good, it's not bad. It's just what is. And I think there's a lot of topics within the world of youth sports. We'll get into some of them where we as parents, we judge, and it can be really it's hard not to,
Yeah.
because we love
Yeah.
our kids. We love them so much, and we want so much good to come from them. We want them to succeed. And guess what? Failure is always a prerequisite to success.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
So you got to go through it, right? That's what we see all the time. The best athletes, they often had some serious struggles along the way that they had to figure out a way through. And then once they learned that, maybe they learned it at a younger age, maybe they learned it at an older age, but it never comes without. It's never an easy, straightforward path, right?
I love that. Josh, share the definition again. Neutral thinking definition is?
Yep. I'll give you 2 definitions. The first one is really simple. It's just dealing with concrete and objective facts, like getting the concrete and objective facts without judgment or grading.
Yeah.
Another way to put that, just for clarity's sake, is to deal with what's so without creating a giant story or drama behind it.
Yeah.
So no stories, no drama. Here's the facts. This is just what it is.
Yeah. And with both of our examples of our own Nooch Nuggets, right? We both articulated, right? The event happened. Travis, you're getting a cold. And so what was causing the frustration was the judgment and the story I was creating about the cold.
Yep.
Right? Your child comes home from college, right?
You're
noticing
like he has a cold.
Sleeping, like and not unpacking the car and not doing the stuff. So what do you like? The facts were my child came home is sleeping a lot, right? And the story we create is, oh, he's lazy,
and he's never going to get anywhere in life,
Yeah.
and the summer's going to go by, and he's not going to earn any money, and da 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 for college, etc. So
Yeah.
yes,
So the
yeah,
facts. So right, you talk about grading, you talk about judgment, and we could probably add to that. Often we talk about, right. It's not only judging or grading, but like noticing your emotions, noticing the feelings you're having about it, noticing the thoughts you're having about the situation. Those tend to go negative, right, when we're frustrated. And I think it's really key here, Josh, especially for the parents, is when we get frustrated, when we get discouraged, when we're having the negative response to the situation, that's not a bad thing, right? We're human.
the
Like you
natural
said,
thing.
we've got good intentions. So we notice those frustrations and those feelings and all that. We don't need to beat ourselves up for feeling that way. Like that makes you, yeah, you're just human. That makes you
Yeah,
what we want to do, what neutral thinking allows us to do is before we fly off the handle or before we say the thing that we beat ourselves up for later, before we respond emotionally or rash, we want to be able to get neutral, which is, okay, what are the facts? I notice how I'm feeling, but how do I want to respond to this that's hopefully going to have a positive impact on my child or the situation, right? That's
yeah,
the power of getting neutral.
absolutely. And I think about it. You know where I often see parents just kind of losing their crap is with referees.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
and let me just put this in perspective for y'all. All right. So youth sports cannot happen without officials. It can't. That baseball game can't happen without that
Right.
teenage umpire.
Right.
That soccer game can't happen with that official. That basketball game that you want to go to and cheer on your kid for, that doesn't happen without that guy running up and down the court. And sometimes I see some of these referees and they're at an AAU tournament or whatever, and they're out there for 12 hours or 10 hours,
Yeah.
man. They're
Yeah.
grinding. They're grinding. And so I think one of the things is they're going to miss calls. They're going to make mistakes. These are not professional referees. They are not. They're not. In the NBA, they make mistakes. In the English Premier League, they have to have replay review to
Right.
correct the mistakes of the. So they're going to make mistakes. So number one, have some grace. Just like your kid is going to make a bad pass, or your kid's going to dribble off his foot, or your kid's going to, give up a home run or walk somebody, or your she's gonna, miss the open goal in field hockey or whatever it is. Like the referees are gonna make bad calls. So number one, that's going to happen. Number
Yeah.
two, it's not whether they make a bad call, it's how your kid responds to that bad call that
Yeah.
matters.
Yeah.
Because guess what? There's
Yeah.
gonna be bad calls in life all the time. And so if we can get neutral and recognize, okay, that call happened, there's nothing you can do to change that call. It's done.
Right.
There is no video
Right.
replay review. Right? So now if I'm neutral, I go, okay, the call happened.
Do I like the call? No.
Do I like the call? It doesn't
Am I
matter.
frustrated by the call? Sure.
Yeah. I mean, it matters in terms of being
Yeah.
honest and having grace with your emotions. But then what's really important is the next play, is helping your kid refocus and get back to doing what's important now. We talk about what's important now all the
Yeah.
time here, right?
Right.
But to be neutral first is to recognize me getting upset and frustrated with a youth sport referee. Like I get it. We care, we have passion, we want our kids to do well. We don't want our kids to be, what's the right word I'm looking for? To not have
Like robotic.
no, we don't want them to be, we want our kids to have the right judgments, to have fairness. We want fairness to happen but you know, it happens, man.
Yeah.
Tough stuff happens. So what advice for you? Like, have you ever dealt with bad referees? What have you guys done in terms of, so talk about like national team, right? You
Yeah.
were at the World Cup.
Right.
How did you deal with referees there? What did you do?
Yeah. I mean, I remember facilitating a session before one of our tournaments. I think it was a Nations League tournament one time, and like we're at the semifinal stage, and we had an entire session. Josh, we're like, hey, what are the things that could go wrong during the next two games,
Yeah.
right? With the players, and they're like, hey, bad calls, bad referees, hostile environment, bad field conditions, unlucky bounces, injuries, fatigue, hostile fans, like all the things that could go wrong. And we're like, hey, we hope that these don't happen, but odds are some of them are going to. That's just part of the game. And so instead of being worried or overly frustrated when they did happen, or if they do happen, we said, okay, if this happens, how are we going to respond?
Yeah.
Right? Are we going to lose our minds? Or like, hey, we've already prepared ourselves mentally for this happening? So if it does happen, how do we want to respond effectively to put ourselves in the best possible position to be successful? And then again, we could do that with our kids, Josh. Like, we can have a conversation. If I'm a youth coach, I can have that conversation with my team. If I'm a parent, like on the drive to the game, I could say, hey, buddy, like, hey, odds are, maybe some calls don't go our way today. Hey, if there's a bad call today, how do you want to respond so that you're going to, be most effective in the next play or the next moment? And all of a sudden, like, hey, now your child is articulating, well, I should probably just focus on the next pitch, or you know what,
Yeah.
I'm gonna, try to let that frustration go and just go win the next ball. Oh, fantastic! And so now, by thinking our way through it, we're putting ourselves in a position to not be intimidated by it if it does happen. And for the parents out there, Josh, what I love about this question or this topic is, think about yourself as a parent. You're on the sidelines and the bad call or the bad play happens. What is your opportunity to help your child?
Mm.
Are you screaming at the referee and then validating for your child that they just got screwed over with a bad call? Are you yelling at your child and saying, like, telling them that, or are they looking at the sideline and seeing negative body language? Or if you're the coach or the parent, are they seeing your frustration? Are they seeing your negativity? Are they seeing your victimhood? Because again, as parents, it's our job to model the behavior that we hope our child or our players also adapt. So now it's about us. How am I responding to the frustration? Because now sort of we're the adults in the room who are modeling how we're going to respond to it.
Yeah. And I think, it goes back to this. Leaders typically, they can be motivators, but really what leaders are stabilizers.
Yeah.
They stabilize the environment for the athletes. That's their goal, and so their attitudes, they're going to be contagious. And your behaviors as a parent, they're contagious. And
Yeah.
so what do you want your kid catching? Do you
Yeah.
want your kid catching blame, complain,
Right.
point fingers, throw your arms in the air, be a victim? Or do you want, hey, resilience, focus, intentionality, belief, teamwork, class? What do you want them to catch?
Right.
Anything is fine. Listen, it's America. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, if you want your kid to be successful in youth athletics, and if you want them to be successful, those you got that choice. You got that choice of how you show up and how you present yourself. And we have seen over and over again, this neutrality piece is huge for people. Hey, let's get to neutral. What are the facts?
Yeah.
What's the deal here? What can we manage here? My son played on a youth basketball team this spring, and it was a 9th grade team, but they played 10th graders. They got slaughtered. They got slaughtered every single game. And instead of pointing fingers at the coach and saying you're horrible, or pointing fingers at the thing, what was awesome was looking at how much they progressed and how much better they got as individual players and as team players, how much better their effort got, how much better their communication got, how much better their ball awareness got.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great to see this growth, even though they were getting killed, and sometimes by like 60 points and getting dunked on. And it was fine. Like, really, because I stepped back and I said, this isn't, like, who cares if they win? Who cares if they win the Tampa, or the Sarasota Smash, the AAU tournament?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Sorry, like, whatever. It's great if you won. Awesome. I'm so happy for you. That's cool. Like, winning is important. But the summer's all about development. The spring's all about development for basketball. And so that was, it was great to see them improve. And I think having that, the parents on our team knew that. They kind of felt that too. They didn't get upset. They didn't throw their hands up. They weren't pointing fingers. They were awesome parents too. And I felt really lucky to be a part of that team.
Oh, I love that. I love that, because now, I mean, it's so much easier to have the conversation with your child after the game or after the match.
Yeah.
If you were able to keep your emotions in check, right? Like, and you can say, like, hey, how did it feel, right? That bad call or that bad play? What were you thinking about? What were you focusing on? But if you're like, hey, why, it looks like you kind of lost your cool or got frustrated after that play. And they're like, well, Dad, I mean, you were screaming at the ref too. Like, I looked over at you and your head dropped and you looked so like, oh, right, we're a mirror. Like, we have the opportunity to model, that behavior. When was it Tony Bennett, the Virginia men's basketball team won the national championship a few years ago, and they were losing in the last minute, I think, of like 5 of the games, and they won every single one and won the national championship. And they interviewed one of the players after the game, and they're like, if you ever look at the bench, Coach Bennett, his emotions never change.
Flat.
And he says, and the mantra he shares with us is calm is contagious.
Yeah.
Calm is contagious. And he's like, hey, if he's showing that, it makes it a lot easier for us as players to stay calm as well. Everything's going to be okay.
Travis, do you have like maybe 3 F's or something that parents could focus on to help them get to that neutrality, get to that calmness?
The 4th F is optional, Josh. But we're gonna keep it to 3. We're gonna keep it to 3. So this is the 3 F's. This is something we've adapted from neutral thinking as like a hack to help leaders and to help people get to neutral a little more quickly, just using a simple framework. So the 3 F's. So for the parents out there, this is something you can share with your kids as well to get neutral as quickly as possible. So the 3 F's are this. So whenever a situation arises, let's say like, hey, we're in a game, we're the much better team, and we're losing 2-0 at halftime, right? The 3 F's would be like, if I'm the coach or I'm the parent, let's say it's halftime. The first F is feel it. Like, hey, how do you feel? Hey guys, how are we feeling right now? Oh, I'm frustrated. I'm discouraged. I'm angry. Again, right? With neutral thinking, we want to actually acknowledge the feelings or the judgment before we move on. So, hey, so the first F is feel it. Hey, how are we feeling right now? Great. Okay. The second thing is facts it, FACTS. Well, there we go. What are the facts? Okay. What are the facts of the situation? Hey, we're losing 2-0. We're not executing these behaviors. Yeah, the referee's calls are, pretty suspect. These are the facts of the situation. They just are what they are. Now we're looking at things based on what it is compared to what we wanted it to be, Josh. And the third F is, I used to say fix it, but now I say forward it. All right. Hey, how do we forward our current reality, right? What adjustments, what solutions, what behaviors are we going to focus on right now? Let's focus on that, right? And as we focus on the right behaviors, the outcome has a better chance of shifting, right? So we feel it, we fax it, we forward it, right? And so we can, and if you want to use that 4th F, people, the 4th F is optional. I'll let you decide for yourself.
I like that. I think one of the things I would add to that too, just throw this out there, is the shot clock. So in some sports, there's a shot clock and the time's down, and then when the time is up, if you got shot off, great. If they didn't, then the other team gets it. And sometimes we can use a shot clock for our emotions too.
I like it.
So that feel it part, maybe put a shot clock. I'm going to feel angry and frustrated here for the next 45 seconds, or for the next play, or for the next 5 pitches, or whatever it may be. That you take that and you just go, you then take control of your feelings versus your feelings having control over you.
Yeah.
And I think that's a nice little hack to add there too.
I like that. Yeah. I love that shot clock. And like, what a great discussion with your child right before a match.
Yeah.
How long's your shot clock going to be today?
Yeah.
Oh, 10 seconds. All right. 10-second emotional shot clock, 10-second of frustration shot clock. Cool. And so again, like you said, you're giving them agency to take control of their emotions and their feelings.
That's it.
I love it. Awesome. So Josh, once again, I know you and I said in the last podcast, we want to hear from the parents. We want to hear from, your children. If they want to jump into the discussion, whether on LinkedIn or on YouTube or either watching this, tell us what's working for you. Tell us how you're getting neutral. Tell us how you're getting those tickets. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and listen to session 1. And there you go. It's the summer series, baby. We're going to help you all crush those late summer fall tryouts.
I love it. And also just for notes again, Travis and I on LinkedIn, just our names, Joshua Lifrak or Travis L. Thomas. And I don't think the L's on yours, but just Travis Thomas. Hey. But you can go on LinkedIn, and that's probably going to be the best place to connect with us. You could shoot us a message on there, and we'll gladly get back to you and answer any questions.
Or Limitless Minds on LinkedIn, where most of these things are posted, and we'll jump into the chat as well. So there you have it.
We love it. Thank you so much for listening. And like we always say here at Limitless Minds, you don't have to be sick to get better.